We're going to talk about building an inclusive community, and we're going to talk about grants to include all members of the community in your projects. First, I want to discuss accessibility, a little bit about what that is, the Americans with Disability Act, and then we're going to talk about the accessibility grants. What is accessibility? The practice of making information, activities, and/or environments sensible, meaningful, and usable for as many people as possible. When planning, keep in mind how to make projects accessible and inclusive. So, the Americans with Disability Act. I'm sure you're already familiar with it. I'm just going to give you a little refresher here. Title II, which applies to a lot of people in our stakeholder group. These are the public entities and public transportation, applies to all services, programs, activities of state and local governments. Title III is public accommodations and commercial facilities. This applies to businesses and nonprofits serving the public. Requires newly constructed or altered buildings to comply with readily achievable measures. So what does readily achievable mean? It just means the changes are easy to accomplish without much difficulty or expense. For example, grab handles in the bathroom. So we're going to look through a handful of grants that are not usually complete projects, but they are pieces you can add to your project already in the works. The more accessibility you have in your projects, the easier it is to get other funding. It's just, and the easier it is to include more people. So this is from the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, the Direct Effect Quality of Life Grant Program. As you might remember, Christopher Reeve, one of the Supermans from my childhood, was paralyzed from an accident many years back. Since then, he and his wife, Dana, have done a lot of work in accessibility. So this is for 501c3s only, up to $25,000. And it's a wide range of projects, accessible trails, modifying facilities, playgrounds. It's just pretty much all encompassing. After the first round of grant, if you get that, then an additional grant is opened up for you to expand on your project. Unfortunately, it closes this week, but it will open back up next year. I just wanted you to be aware of that. Some of the grants we'll look at are open, some are closed, but they're all ones to just be on the lookout for. Adaptive Tennis Grant from the U.S. Tennis Association. I just thought this was amazing. This grant assists in promotion, implementation, and growth of adaptive tennis programs at the community level. And it closes November 5th. At the end of this, we're going to give you a survey. If you fill out the survey, you'll get these links right away. The links will also be in the presentation on our Knowledge Center on Uplift's website. Make a splash. This one's super cool. If you have a splash pad, and this is for municipalities, YMCAs, other nonprofit organizations that would have a splash pad, this helps you put in those really awesome rubberized, beautifully colored floors. So they're more accessible, they're not slippery, they're easier for everyone to use. It is open and there was not a deadline posted. So if you go to that link, you'll be able to find out more about the Make a Splash from LifeFloor. Demonstration grant from AARP. These are small grants that you're able to get funded pretty quickly. They're for permanent physical improvements in the community. So this is things like putting a ramp on an existing building, and it will reopen in January. Again, once you get the slide deck, you'll be able to have the links to all these on the logos. This one is pretty neat. This is Lowe's Hometowns. It's a variable amount. Someone in the community needs to nominate your project, but that's easy enough to find someone to do. This is to be used for renovations and improvements. It does not have to be an ADA compliant project, but it fits in that category as well. I wanted to show you a project that was awarded this past year for 2023 for Lowe's in Maxton, which is in Robeson County. This Lumbee Land Development was the name of the group. And with the grant they received, the Lumbee Tribe Cultural Center is going to update their outdoor recreation area, make them safer, more ADA accessible. So they're going to replace their current wood mulch, which gets in your shoes. It's hard to maneuver in wheelchairs. If you aren't a very stable walker, it's almost impossible. They're going to put rubberized surface, which are much safer and easier to use. So that's one North Carolina project that got funded this year, and that will reopen in January. Accessibility for Parks grants. This is a pretty large grant. It's a matching grant to be used for counties and municipalities. It's to build or adapt facilities to be accessible for people of all ages and ability levels. They're currently working on their portal, but this grant should open early 2024 as well. Skate park project grants. I love this. I love this. So it's anywhere from 1,000 to 300,000. 10,000 is the norm. It's for nonprofit organizations and municipalities. You can use it for any type of skate park project, but one of their project goals is accessibility improvements and repairs to make your project, your skate park, more accessible. This one will also open in early 2024, and it will be a quarterly deadline. Collegiate Wheelchair Program Grant. This is also from the U.S. Tennis Association. It is for the collegiate level wheelchair tennis programs. This will also reopen in the spring. It helps bolster the program, develop programs. It's a small grant, but it has a good use in the collegiate level. This one, U.S. Tennis Association, is really, I think, the neatest and maybe the one that applies most to our groups. It's the Wheelchair Tennis Grassroots Grant. The special emphasis is placed on programs that plan to attract new youth players to the sport. And this is tennis that is wheelchair accessible. They're talking about tennis, but with wheelchairs. The grant should assist in providing assets, including coaching, court time, events, and equipment. So that is I think, just an amazing program that any town with a tennis court could certainly use to develop their inclusive camps for the youth. And it's also going to reopen in the spring. So these that are reopening next year just gives you time to get ready and get all your information together. So that is a handful of grants that can add accessibility value to your projects. If you have questions, certainly email me. We are happy to talk one-on-one about not just these grants, any project you have going on. We will try to find funding to match your project, grants you can apply for. If you will use this QR code, sign up for our newsletter if you're not already signed up. And we look forward to hearing from you.